Prof, Doc, a collision in North Korea.
See? You
Oh no, I did
see?
that purposely, actually.
Oh man, I can't believe you almost did that to me.
Purposely did that.
Wow, I can't believe that. You're trying to throw me off.
Yep.
It's terrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back doing another review of Dark Side of the Ring, Collision in North Korea. Doc, what an amazing episode.
I was terrified for them. Even though we know, like, you know how you watch a biography, and although you know the ending, like, I know all these people survived and came back and had pretty good careers, but it's like while you're watching, you're like, I feel like somebody died in this movie, in the making of this movie. But no, it was like so crazy and kind of goes with the narrative that North Korea currently has. And I'm not going to be talking negatively about them like that because I don't have time for anyone to be like sending any messages to me or anything. But yikes. Yikes. Leave this gaming to me.
All I'm going to say is it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
But they made it back, and that's the most important part. So Eric Bischoff has this grand idea with I can't remember the. Yeah, you go, because you know me, I would have went with that guy. Yeah, I didn't say it. I was like that guy.
That guy.
Can you say from Japan? Yeah. Gosh. Can you say the name again?
Antonio Inoki.
Antonio Inoki. Inoki for short.
Inoki.
So Inoki has this great idea. We need a peace. We need peace. What better way than to use our platform as wrestlers, which a lot of people do. They use the platforms to spread positivity. They do it now. Sometimes it's accepted. Sometimes it's not accepted. And pretty much you get what they call blackballed for whatever league you're in. But in this situation, Inoki has this idea. Hey, listen, I want to put together a peace card and I want to get some of the big names of wrestling. Could you imagine, Johnny, if they would have actually got Hulk Hogan on this plane?
That one, brother.
Oh my God, I can't make that one, brother. I can make a lot of things, but I can't make that one. Could you imagine though if Hogan would have made this plane?
I mean,
it would have been
huge. I mean, it would have been huge. Maybe, possibly.
Maybe, possibly.
Who knows?
Depending on. We'll see. I mean, based on based on the other wrestlers' experience, I'm not 100% sure. So they take Norton. They take Flair, who was number 2. Flair was number 2, not number 1. He was pretty salty about that. They take the Road Warriors, right?
Yep.
They take Too Cold Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was 1 or 2 other people. I can't remember who else was there.
The Road Warrior Hawk.
It wasn't both of them? I thought it was both of them.
It was both.
Both of them, yeah. The Road Warriors, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there was a few Japanese superstars that was there as well, too.
Right. And obviously...
Like the Liger, Yuji Nagata, Mamie Toyota, Bull Mikado.
Beast. All star-studded cast. Now, looking back on it, back then it was star-studded, but right now it's like, oh my God, what a card. I would have been crazy to want to say I would want to be there, but I would have wanted to be there. We probably have been the only ones actually celebrating the match because everybody else was just like sitting there like, what's going on? Why are they beating each other up? But we'll get to that. The collision in North Korea. Eric Bischoff says, we got to do this. We got to take out WWF at the time Vince will never ever be able to put anything together like this. We got to do this. So he goes to some of his stars, say, "Hey, we're going to North Korea. Get on this plane, this janky plane, and we're going."
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, how would you feel you get to a place, a foreign country, and all of a sudden they start taking your passports and your pictures and pushing you around and oh my God, like
John Gotti probably wouldn't be lasting much longer on this earth if that happened.
oh, it was nuts. Like I felt can
Because
we talk about
then the New Jersey John Gotti comes out and it's not
right, exactly.
good.
And I felt like and this is where I felt Ken Norton was gonna make it back. I
Scott,
felt Scott Norton, Ken Norton's the football player. Scott Norton, I felt like he wasn't gonna make it back. I felt like he
he was very abrasive to what they were doing.
which in good rights. I mean, obviously you're an American citizen, you're used to a certain level of respect and not saying that there's disrespect in North Korea, but the way this is being portrayed, it's like we don't really want you here, but you're here now. So you're gonna do things our way. There is
Definitely the
there is no
latter part of
highway.
that statement.
Yeah, there
More
is no
the latter
highway.
part of the statement, yes.
There is no highway.
No.
It's just our way. So they get chaperones and they have to go to this event where they have to really be happy to be there to give blessings and show appreciation for one of the fallen leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Which of course they don't know that they have to do this until they get there. But this is the first thing they have to do. Then they're escorted to the hotel. Obviously, that's when we see Norton trying to figure out what's going on. But they have security, police outside the doors. It's a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there probably wasn't. There probably wasn't a lot going on at that time in North Korea where you would be able to actually do anything outside. But everybody was kind of forced to do things
Yes.
um, to a point where they were forced to go to the match itself. So they sold out. I mean, obviously you're going to be in the biggest crowd, but it's like, hey, we don't really want to be here. We were just told we were going to have to be here at this time, almost like a scheduled meeting.
Yeah.
Who
Pretty
likes
much.
who likes meetings? Hey, you could have emailed us these results. But looking at it, I feel like we got a look at exactly how crazy the wrestling world is when you're traveling to a foreign country where now this is a country that hasn't experienced wrestling. Maybe now they probably have more wrestlers, possibly, not likely. But I mean, let's talk about the Eric Bischoff issue here. That I felt was pretty funny. Eric Bischoff decides to take a run, a simple run, and he's almost like he almost caused pretty
An
much a
international
riot.
incident. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, here you are thinking like, hey, it's in your right. You can just step outside and take a quick run. And
Well,
now
it
you're not.
wasn't that. It was more of like, what's harmful about going for a simple run?
Well, that's like I was gonna throw something ridiculously out there. It's like people's perception is their reality,
Absolutely.
right? So it's like John Gotti, if you saw a pit bull outside, no leash, no owner, just running around, you might think like that pit bull might be dangerous. You don't know. You have to assume that it could be,
Okay. I see
right?
what you're going with that.
Let's say you saw a wolf outside.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably try to take it home.
It will take you home and have you for dinner, because that's what a wolf probably would do.
Well,
A
hopefully, you have
bear,
some
a
Cholula to help out
tiger.
with that. But it's
Yeah, a bear, a tiger, like you see something that is perceived as dangerous is my point. It's perceived as dangerous, which is now Eric Bischoff running outside towards me. Like you're running outside towards me. I'm a North Korean, right? You're running outside. Oh my God, that American's trying to kill us all. They're so dangerous. Look at those claws. You know? So that's nuts. It sounds ridiculous, but it's so nuts to me.
wow, he said it like that though.
It's so crazy. But yeah, it was a bad idea nonetheless.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so if so we finally kind of get to the point where Norton makes this phone call to his wife, who hasn't heard from him a couple of days, and she's like, "I know you're on the road with all those North Korean ladies, you and the guys just doing drugs and ladies." And he's like, "No, I can't do anything. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually stuck in a room. They actually just gave me a phone. I hate it here. This place freaking sucks." Click.
That would have been the last thing his wife would have
Right.
heard from.
This place freaking sucks. Click. We need to see you in the other room for a second there. And that's how bad it was. So they're bugging the line, like you can't call out and just say that we suck. How dare
Yeah.
you? Let me put this gun right here on the table so you know how serious this is. Don't you know we will shoot? Like, don't you know we will shoot you? Don't you dare say anything bad about North Korea or else. He's like, whoa, 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 guys. I didn't know that you were listening. I would have never said that if I knew you were listening. You
First
know
of
what
all,
I'm
that
saying?
was your first mistake.
Right. Yeah. Like not thinking, they've already taken your stuff. So of course they're listening. So
Well, I mean, that and they're, you really can't leave your hotel room. You can't really just tour it around. Like, come on. You really think
you
that
should
they're
kind of
not
know.
going to
Yeah.
bug your phone? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you could be a spy. Like ultimately they want to know, you know what I'm saying? So, um, so that happened. And then I wanted your take on the Scorpion Hawk debacle where you got people punching people in the face. Hey, I ran out of steroids. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make a shank over here out of this chopstick. I mean, there's a lot going on here, boy. There's a lot going on. You gotta watch it, folks. If you have not watched Dark Side of the Ring, Collision in Korea, North Korea, you gotta check it out. It was like somebody is going to die here.
Yes.
It's like it was like Dark Side of the Room, Dark Side of the Ring, the Clue edition. Somebody killed somebody in North Korea with a shank
Wow. In the parlor.
in the parlor. You know,
Tuco Scorpio, and I'm glad you mentioned it. He definitely took a lot of creative liberties for his retelling of stories. Like, and I hate to say this because I do like Tuco Scorpio. I think he's an amazing wrestler. Um, but he took a lot of creative liberties with this stuff.
I'm sure. Yeah, he
Now,
did.
were there some truth to it? Yeah, there's some truth to it. But did he stretch that truth a lot? Absolutely.
Which, when you're a wrestler, I think that's just natural because you get so used to the promo life, and when you get used to, I guess, watching these biographies, you'll see that a lot of these guys, they not only were these characters, but sometimes they had a hard time turning those characters off.
Exactly.
And it's tough. It's like when you're portraying something, and we not only in wrestling, you see it with actors. Like some actors or actresses don't watch themselves on camera because they know like that's not really me.
Who they are.
That's not me. That's somebody else.
Yeah.
So in this situation, he might have listen, drugs and the way things are moving, he might have just taken his character just a little bit too
Little bit too
far,
serious. Yep.
and it happens. It happens to the best of them. But you're
But
saying
we finally get to the show.
Oh my God, yeah, with the whole reason why we're here.
The whole reason why we're here.
Yeah, the whole reason.
And so, Doc, we see how WrestleMania can be, when it's popping. Like, awesome, free, right? We've seen how shows are during the pandemic era. It's kind of awkward, but there's really no one there, and they kind of have to pipe in the crowd noise to make us get into it.
Right.
This
Bubble
show,
life.
Doc, for the most part, until the end, for the main event, was silent. We're talking about a, air quotes, sold out arena, and people are just silent.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It was nuts.
Pristine silence. Just like that, folks.
Yeah, that's. And so, again, if it was us or a regular wrestling fan, like, obviously somebody during that time frame, maybe North Korea, created or invented computers before everyone else. Somebody invented Cody and all these streaming apps before someone else. And they were privy to the wrestlers that were there, would have had to hold back their cheers because they knew exactly what was going on. But that's not the case. They showed people in the crowd just sitting there like, man, I wonder what Ralphie, the dog, is doing right now. My freaking pet cricket, like,
Can't believe he said
like, I wonder what's going on at home. Like, did I freaking, did I close the window? That's kind of, I mean,
oven on?
yeah, like, did I lock the front door? Like, any other thought than what was going on in the ring? Because what was going on in the ring was these barbarians who obviously are bigger. Even they're bigger than life, right? They're huge. They got more muscles than a lot of people have seen. They have their chesticles out, right? They got the pecs showing, right? And it's like, what's really going on?
For the children that are listening to this episode, we're gonna have to not make it safe for kids.
What, chesticles? Oh, up in here, they got the pecs showing. They got the traps. They got the shoulders are at that time the muscles were probably got cut off shirts, and they're screaming and roaring, and you can't really
wearing outlandish colors.
Yeah, you can't really you can't really work the crowd because the crowd is unworkable. So then you get to the last match where Inoki and Flair, right? Inoki and Flair have to get out here and put on a performance, and they actually got a reaction because the people know Inoki's relationship to North Korea. That's the only reason. Only because he has a small relationship to a North Korean, probably for a couple of years. They gave him a pass and said, hey, we've been waiting all night for you. I don't know who these other guys are, but we've been waiting for you. Oh my God, kick that guy with the white hair's butt, the North Korean would say. And they cheered when they heard the 1, 2, 3.
And Scott Norton said afterwards, saying that it was the best wrestling show ever. Now, we're going to call shenanigans on that.
Right. Right. Big time shenanigans. Boy, you're a liar. This trip was a disaster.
This trip was even worse than a disaster.
It's like,
this trip could have turned lethal so fast at so many
the definition.
points.
The definition of the tea's gone cold.
No.
Oh, the tea's just bad.
No.
There's no tea.
There is no tea.
The water is bad.
Mm,
I shouldn't say that either, right?
No, we're gonna move on.
Okay. There's no hot water.
But overall, Doc, what was your biggest takeaway from this episode?
That the Road Warriors could have never been a thing because Tuco Scorpio built a freaking shank in North Korea. A shiv, yeah, like out here just making a melee weapon for something that was, not even. It wasn't even between them two. It was
high. Well, he said something.
No, he said something. I think it was about flare.
That's what I'm saying. He said something about flare,
and it's like, why all of a sudden?
Exception to that.
And I'm like, why? Why take exception? Like, I know they've been on the road.
The one who's driving around in the car.
Yeah, but there's no reason. That's what I'm saying. It had nothing to do with them two. So you two are gonna kill each other over somebody else. It's like the dumbest thing ever. Like
locker room politics.
To the point where you're making
in a wrestling locker room, so we cannot make that
to a point where you're making a shiv from a North Korean chopstick that you smuggled from the restaurant, which also could have got him killed, right? That also could have got him killed because if they would have found it, that contraband, he would have took one bullet wherever they decided to put it, and come on, like, you just can't do that. So I just thought it was high risk, man, and I don't know.
Yeah, but Antonio Inoki's relationship was
right.
It was
I forget the name.
Relationship with Rikozen.
There you go.
Who defected from North Korea, but he ended up dying allegedly by the Yakuza back in 1963. Right,
allegedly. I'm glad you threw that out there. Allegedly. I've seen that word a lot this weekend. Allegedly.
And of course, the ending was Scott Norton talking about Ric Flair getting down on his knees and kissing.
And kissing.
Once they arrived
back in Japan. That was just back in Japan. Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, like that is so crazy. But yeah, like I said, it was a rough show. I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week going over Ultimate Warrior. It looks like there's two. There's Dark Side of the Ring, and then A&E has one. So I'll probably watch both.
Now, one thing, and shout outs to Solid Monster for this, actually.
Solid Monster. I know he's a huge fan of the Professor John Gotti.
He is, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, if you listen to this particular episode, he's like, wait, that's John Gotti?
That's John Gotti right there. I'm going to put him as a hashtag.
No, I don't want to be a hashtag.
No.
But he was mentioning another thing that happened during this event that I kind of wish they put it into was the, how can I say this in a particular way? The carnal affairs between Akira Hokuto and Kensuke Sasaki, whom
you said
two
what affairs?
Japanese wrestlers. Their relations.
Cardinal relations. Okay.
So much so that the police had to get called
in North Korea.
At the hotel.
They definitely didn't talk about that.
Yes, like you would have enjoyed it. It's like, what? Like, they don't even care.
Yikes. And this was happening on North Korean grounds. Oh, that could have got them killed.
Yes. But
so the police got there. So like, did he say what happened, or
they hooked up and they were going at it throughout the whole trip, and it gotten so loud that the police got to get called.
But that's my thing. So when the police arrived, that's why I'm like,
he didn't talk about what happened. He said the police got called.
Gotcha. So that's all allegedly. But you said they got married.
Well, them doing the thing that actually happened because they ended up being married not too long afterwards. So
that's
like, it wasn't like it was a one-time thing.
I gotcha. That's so nuts. Dang, Solomon said he's like, you're gonna hear this news. But that is Dark Side of the Ring Tuesday's edition. The collision in North Korea next week. Obviously, we'll go through the Warrior, which I'm interested to see. Obviously, I know a lot about the Ultimate Warrior, but I need, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm finding these biographies to be really, really good. And I think that I'm hoping that more happen because it's like really, really good nostalgia to see exactly how people became living legends. Um, but I know you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform. And if you aren't, which I highly doubt that you are, but you can always find us on debateamongstfriends.com every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And before I close it out, big shout out to Stadium Security, who continues to shut down fans from running onto the court, throwing water bottles, spitting, throwing popcorn, etc.
Shout out to the one security guard in
Big time
DC
form
who
tackle.
What a great tackle.
It was a big time tackle.
Bill Brown needs to sign that guy.
Get that guy to the Washington football team.
There you go.
But we'll be back tomorrow with more NBA playoffs. Hopefully, we'll see if some teams can wrap it up. I know we've had a few ties where we'll go over some of those game fours, getting into these game fives, and more tomorrow, 4 p.m. So for right now, we bid you adieu and catch us tomorrow for more news, analysis, and the read.